Hey everyone, Wander here, and welcome back to Sir. I'm keeping it. Sir, we have an orc problem. So what are we gonna do? This next level looks awful, but it should be fine. So, I guess I should probably upgrade my gunners. Well, do we upgrade my gunners? I almost feel like my Tesla coils are probably going to be the big one, the most useful thing I can grab here. So let's grab another Tesla coil, increase their shots per second, increase that, increase the fear. All right, that should do. Because this level looks like it's going to be really stinky. We only have 3 levels left, but I get the feeling this is going to take me a while. Oh, huh. It didn't actually save any of my, the stuff I was building. That's fine. Okay, so the big issue here is mostly just the fact that there is no convenient way for me to set everything on fire. Though, to be fair, I think the fire has kind of dropped off in terms of its usefulness. Okay, so I think we just do something like this. This isn't gonna quite connect, but I think it'll be okay. Still have a couple more flamethrowers. The problem is I have no idea where I'm going to put them. So I think I'm not going to bother. At least for now. I think we're just going to get a bunch of these spread out. Let's see. I've got some grenade launchers. A lot of people were mad at me because I wasn't doing this. I'll give it a shot. Let's just make sure that area is as stanky as we can get it. Kind of aim that right there. Yeah, I don't know. I think the problem is I have no idea what kind of lines they're going to be following. My fear is they're going to be going kind of everywhere. It is pachinko. Intentionally. You know what? Let's just start battle. Let's see what this results in. So, this was correct. But we could probably have at least another 2 here. They barely go down the sides. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, the problem on this is just like, where do I aim any of these things? I'm kind of shooting blind and hoping for the best. The other issue is, I guess I can get some kind of straight shot firing lines here. This will kind of work. Yeah, I guess this will have to do. We'll have a couple of these guys sneaking through, but hopefully this actually does like a decent job. We might also have to move some of my lightning. But I guess it's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna toss that over there. Alright. Yeah, because we didn't actually have that many coming through here. Okay, this barrier was correct. And not a whole lot are coming through this section. I don't honestly know. Let's just see about maybe some mortars. Let's see, more mortar towers. More mortar towers. Bigger explosion, and then more damaging explosion. And we'll figure out the rest. Yeah, the one problem is we actually didn't benefit too much from having all of these things down the center. I also have no idea how my lasers were doing. Okay. So we'll see how this goes. This might also be one of those where we actually want to take these back and move them kind of onto the back line. Because they're the only thing that shoots accurately here. Okay, so what had the most amount of damage? So, grenade launcher, not much. Tesla coils, yeah, not a whole lot of damage, so I think we just move them back. Mortars were very weak, but I guess that makes sense. Gunners were doing fine. So, yeah, we'll move the Teslas back a little bit. Let's see, max that out. Do we just... Yeah, more shots per second. More mortar towers. We just boost the damage and the explosion radius and just keep pushing that. So what do we get? Active ability drop a nuke once per battle, and mortar shells explosions shoot out shrapnel. So that seems pretty good. All right. Is it shift right click? Get rid of all of them? Perfect. I think we want to just have these on the back line here. As like a means of catching anything that comes through. You know what? I'm actually going to surrender. Play again. Grab this one. And this one. Try that. I might have to change the angles on these. Okay, shooting a little high. Yeah, I'm shooting a little high on this one. And then this one could also be higher. Because yeah, it seems like they're largely collecting kind of here-ish. Wait, no, damn it. Okay, there we go. Because yeah, these lasers, I know you're supposed to go like big bouncy with them. No, still shooting a little high. No, once they start hitting, the angle is perfect. This one could go lower. Okay, try again. And then this one, I need to angle out more. There we go. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this is a great spot for lasers. Or is it? I'm just going to keep starting over because we have these really good firing lines. For lasers. And I should be using them. Because, yeah, having them bounce in the midst of that, not really helping that much. Okay, something like that. We'll see how this goes. Okay, and they can bounce off the top, like the back wall. That's an option there. But yeah, these lasers are just going straight down the mass, which is exactly what we were hoping for. And yet, the lightning is working, mostly. I think we're being overwhelmed a little bit. But we're getting to the point where most of my towers are maxed out, so it actually is less of a test of how much meta progression I have and more of a test of, yeah, we're letting a couple through. That's okay. It's less of a test of like how many stats I have and more how I'm using them. Probably just boost those. We might want to come back and actually work on the explosive orcs. Okay, do we have anything else? No. Okay, so yep, the lasers are doing a ton of damage. As kind of I was hoping for / expecting. So the one problem with the mortars being aimed in this section is we are causing them to spread out a little bit, which might not be the greatest. Damn, the lasers are just own zoning everything. Oh, I have a laser here that I could move. Honestly, that laser is probably doing a lot of work. Let's see. Just work on more explosive orcs, I suppose. Work on boosting the gas grenades. Not that the gas grenades do a ton of damage. Yeah, this one's fine, I think. Yeah, I think these two lasers looked iffy, but I think they're actually doing a fine job. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I should be thinking about as far as, like, build options go. Not really. I think the one thing I could consider is taking a bunch of these guns and just moving them here and pointing them upwards. Because, yeah, a lot of these aren't really being used. I guess actually what I maybe should do is just take a lot of these and just kind of plonk them here. Pointed inwards? Oh. Yeah, that's exactly what I should do. Because, yeah, we're wasting a lot of bullets here. Yeah, some are getting through. We're getting close, though. But also, we're only halfway done. Which means we're not going to make it. That's okay. We don't need to. Alright. So what can we upgrade? Let's see, grenade explosion damage, which is good. Corrosive fumes, which is actually probably quite good. Grenade duration. And meter. Well, what else do we have? A shock coil duration. Shock coil damage. More bounces. More damage on the laser guns. Okay, and I want more gunners, but not immediately. Yeah, slow duration. Let's get that up. I've been neglecting that. Let's see, extra health points. Okay. So I think a number of these are just being wasted. And so I should be using them a little bit more effectively. Put these here. So I have 2 more. Honestly, I think we just do that. All right. I think we are good. Now at this point, I'm sure there's a better layout. Like, that's the one thing I would love to see is a snapshot. Like, I don't know if I necessarily like the idea of leaderboards, but I think a leaderboard with a snapshot of like, hey, here's what the top ranked player, this is what their setup looks like. Learning from that could be really cool, but I think it could also just result in people griefing, like, oh, why aren't you playing, like, you know, Dursley von Orc Killer? You know, his setup is pristine. Okay, so we actually do have a number coming through the center, which is a bit of an issue, but only a minor one. Yeah, that extra slow duration is making a huge difference. Wait, how many of these gas grenades are just getting knocked around? Like, some of them are ending up in the lowest parts of the defensive line. That's wild. They're probably just bouncing off of the orcs or being kicked around by the orcs. Oh, now some are getting through. Not many, though. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them are coming off the center line. Because I have very few guns covering this specific section. Well, let's get a gun. I guess actually boosting the gunner range wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, just a gun put there should do the trick. Because yeah, unfortunately this thing doesn't sweep too fast, and so like half the time it's missing. I actually wonder if having a flamethrower just crossing this spot would actually catch everything. It probably would. Let's actually set that up. Because you don't have a whole lot of orcs that are kind of going this direction. Because, yeah, we want to make sure all of them are burning. For as long as possible. And yeah, the lasers are still, unsurprisingly, just kicking ass. Now, this is the explosive orcs. Those are actually doing really well. I guess I did increase the number of them. So we should probably go back to maxing those out when we get the chance. It's really elegant watching the chain lightning kind of bounce between all the orcs. Like, there's something about it, just the way it animates out looks really cool. I mean, I don't know, I think lightning in general is really cool. I think chain lightning might actually be one of my favorite video game upgrades to just get, if given the chance. I think if I were to change anything, I would probably take these 2 lasers and move them here. Because they're losing a little bit of damage here. Still covering a ridiculous amount. Well, not a single orc has gotten through yet. They're getting close, but the lightning towers are working wonders at catching my drops. Oh, no. There's some go. Yeah, the mass couldn't hold. I think we just need more AoE. This is just too much. We got close, though. We actually ran out of orcs waiting. Well, in that case... Boost that? Sure. Boost that. Boost that a couple of times. We should probably go back to the gas grenades, too, considering... But, I guess I should look at how much damage they do. So, why don't we take my idea to heart? And move these up. Because we lose a little bit of the fire damage bonus, but we hit so many more... Well, actually, no, we don't. Because this is going to be hitting orcs that are on fire from these barriers. Some of them, anyway. So I should also figure out which is doing way... Okay, yeah, the mortars are doing way more damage than the gas grenades. I guess it makes sense. The gas grenades are support first. And thus should not be expected. Let's see. Yeah, it should not be expected to do that much DPS here. I like the idea of the bounce on the laser, but it feels like they're much better as just like sheer rail guns. Point them down the crowd and just let them go. And yeah, by keeping this from getting too dense, hopefully we're making it so that they don't spill over and overwhelm everything below. Humorously enough, I might actually be killing so many that these guns aren't as useful. Now we should be hitting peak right about now. In terms of congestion. I think if I were to do anything, I'd probably take these and maybe move them up a little bit. A little closer, because I think this one's kind of wasted. Even just moving it up here is probably a good idea. Ah. Finally some got through. Let's see. Yeah, testicle, shock duration, damage, and technically we can get more, but they are so expensive. Silver orc chance. There's the damage on those. I can get another laser tower. It's really expensive, though. We should leave that. Max up the slow strength. Let's see. Corrosive fumes is probably really good. And then slowly boost their damage. Another mortar tower. Okay. So this one I think I can bring up at the very least. I want to make this a little bit more symmetrical. Maybe a good idea. Got 8. So this one's a bonus. That's not the most convenient spot. Really, I think we just need to get one more. Is there anything I do? No. I think this is mostly just a matter of numbers. Maybe I could perfect this layout more. But it would require like a radical restructuring in such a way. Wait, hold up. There's one that I can do. These are quickly becoming a little irrelevant. And I should probably fix that. There we go. We're just going to move them a little closer. The other option I do have is potentially pointing them into this mess. But it feels like this is the area where the mortars and the fire should be shooting. These are kind of cleanup. Problem is we're losing a lot of shots by having them kind of become this bullet barrier. That a lot of them are just being lost right here. I almost kind of wish you could actually look at an individual tower and see how many of its shots are hitting or not. Like, that would be really useful. Because, yeah, maybe I do that. Because these are just squandered. So let's just do that. All right. So they're just going to be sweeping back and forth, hitting nothing for a little bit, but as soon as this area becomes full, it's going to be just packed with orcs. Because the goal is to kind of keep them from getting too dense here. Let's see, if oh. No. And the one argument to be said is these bullets might be wasted, that they're hitting enemies that would have gotten killed by the mortar themselves, but they were getting wasted already. So I don't know. I guess the real test on this is, one, I mean, I think the gunner's damage has gone up a little. Two, how many get by? It definitely feels like there's more kind of coming down to this direction, but I don't actually know if they're going to be a problem. Because it's a more like even distribution. You can definitely tell that. But they're also not getting past the lightning barricade. So maybe it's fine. Okay, this area's looking... We're starting to get a little overwhelmed here. So I think at the very least I'm going to take the two lower ones and bring them back here, because there's a lot of orcs coming down this section that could take the hits. I think I also have a mortar. I have at least a mortar aiming in this direction. I think I need to move it back into the mess. Because I don't think there's any point in shooting any of my AoEs below the fire line here. Well, we survived. 2 got through, which honestly feels a bit insulting, considering. But that's okay. It's only going to take some minor reconfiguring to fix some of this stuff. Okay, so you. Okay, so the other thing that we've done is now we have a ton of money. What do I invest in? Max out corrosive fumes. max out my mortar damage. I can get more mortar towers. I guess we'll grab that one. Get our last flamethrower tower. I think my flamethrowers are completely done now. Grab that. I apparently never did. Let's see. And Tesla coil duration? Sure. That's fine. Alright, let's do that again. So I have another flamethrower. I don't actually know what I want to do with it. I think I'm just going to do that. It's kind of wasted here, but that's okay. Because, yeah, we have this line starting here. They don't have enough time to, like, fully burn, but it'll at least soften them up. Because, yeah, I wanted to keep this here so it gets the free penetration chance on burning enemies. But the lower two weren't getting it as much. And then I wanted to just fill this area with a ton of explosions. Make sure everything is as slowed as possible and as blasted as possible. Because if we don't let them bunch up before they hit the secondary flame wall, that hopefully works. You know, one thing I really wish this game had was just like one or two barriers that I could plonk down. Something something that functions just as a way of mazing. Yeah, this game doesn't have any mazing. That's a bit of a shame. I actually really hope they make another one of these. They apparently only spent 4 months on it, and so they're planning on doing some level of post-launch support, some more levels, workshop support. I think workshop support is going to be huge. Personally, I would love to see a workshop mod that actually expands the talent tree some more, too. Because I think there's a lot of things that you could still do with a lot of these towers. It could be really cool if you could actually, like, mix and match. I don't want to say, like, tower synergies, but I think it'd be really cool if there was, like, a way of combining the flamethrower and the mortar, for example. So it, like, fires off, like, big napalm grenades. Or flamethrower the gas tower for napalm grenades, flamethrower and the mortar for, like, bigger boom. Stuff like that I think could be really cool. Combining lightning and mortar would be like big lightning bolts that hit instantly. And so you'd probably just have extra fire rate. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of options there. It's just kind of a matter of making it work. Let's see. And like, what this is perfectly fine. It's a lot of fun, and for how much they charge for this game, it's extremely good. And like, I've seen a lot of people complaining about how like incremental games have become the new slop, and I do agree. I think there are a lot of really slop-ish incremental games that do nothing, you know, use a bunch of AI generated assets and have like nothing new or exciting to say about the genre. But at least at the moment, unlike say Bullet Heavens, which are pretty locked in just following let's see. I could get some more laser towers. It's not a bad idea. Okay. Let's grab the mortar shrapnel and see what we can get. So extra penetration and more damage. Okay. And then more shrapnel. Sure. That's probably actually going to be a huge amount of damage. I'll work on finishing the gas grenades next. What? Where? They're going here? Oh. Huh. No, they're not. They're not coming from that. They're coming from all sides. Okay. Get 9,000 for that. I mean, sure. Okay. How the hell am I doing this? I should make sure that each of these is covered at the very least. We've got this. I mean, I guess I can just point a flamethrower straight down that. It'll get both sides. Okay, so what are we doing next? My allergies are just destroying me today. So I think I should probably get at least a gas grenade for each of these flamethrowers. Let's see. And then mortars for each. The problem is this is very dense, and that's not great. Yeah, I don't necessarily know how I'm going to defend this section apart from just point laser down it. But maybe that's fine. Let's see. And then beyond that, just for the best. Move it up. Point it this direction. That, but I think that's better for something else. I'm gonna be, yeah, if I'm gonna be doing this, we might as well just have a gunner pointed down that direction. Let's see. Move these back. Because, yeah, the gunners can actually be pretty far at this point. And it's kind of okay. Let's see. I actually almost prefer if these guys are crossing a little. That way none of them are, like, fully neutered. Okay. And then let's just go for the most obvious thing, kind of surround the most pertinent sections here with zappers. Okay, I've still got a lot of lasers. It's gonna bounce the wrong direction, isn't it? Yeah. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. Okay. And then actually, I should be really aiming a lot of mortars into the areas before those to kind of break up the clumps, rather than after. Because, yeah, as much as I want the bonus damage from fire, it's probably better if we don't. Okay. Next up, they're like more distant, semi-obvious choke points that I can put a fire barrier on. Because a lot of the guys are going to be coming down this hall. And I might as well have them burn while they do so. Okay. We'll just get a second gas grenade here. Get another one there. Okay, which of these? That has 2, this has 4. This only has 1. That's got 2. Maybe if I put it here? Across? Yeah, that'll work. I'm just trying to make sure each and every one of these locations is at least somewhat gunned. This is the one section that I think I actually do have some concerns about in terms of bullets and where they're going to go. I guess I could just aim it down this hallway. It'll catch the extras. Yeah. I think that'll do. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, so we have the lasers doing a super bounce here, which is kind of good, but also not a whole lot of orcs are going to be going down this section. This area is looking a little worrisome. I mean, a lot of the sections are. But I think this one... Oh, this one still has the mortar after. You know, actually having the mortar after the fire here is not so bad. I think it's mostly just a question of would it be better before or after? Because before lets it really hit these big clumps. Yeah. Okay, so this is the section that is having the biggest issue. Oh, because we also don't have a laser pointed down this one. Which is probably not helping. I think I could probably take one of these two lasers and move it. Something like that. Maybe point it here. That'll hit the crowd and then kind of bounce into that direction. Okay. Only 17k. Unfortunately, not as much as I was hoping for. But that's okay. So I can get more mortars. I can boost my grenade launchers so they do more damage. What do we have down the missile line? Since I've never actually looked into this. It's okay. I think I'm just going to boost my laser bounce for now. Okay, there we go. That's a nice right angle, at the very least. Because, yeah, once that starts filling up, that actually does hit a lot of them. And then this is kind of chaos. Maybe not the most practical, but it seems to be holding. I just wanted to give this a ton of bounce so we wouldn't be losing any of its attacks. Alright, that's working. Yeah, so this area could probably use another mortar. Because it's only got one gas grenade and one mortar. Where is the... Oh, there's the... This is the gas gunner. Because, yeah, this level is so tight that them bunching up isn't a huge issue. I really like how the chain lightnings, yeah, are kind of forming a cooperatively defensive field. Okay, we've hit peak orc level, but they're going to start breaking through right about now. Yeah. Okay, why don't we get another mortar, and then boost my mortar shrapnel. Okay, just plonk that there. I don't think that's going to be enough, but that's okay. The point is just to soften it up so it's not like, so it's not as, like, rough. Now, a really ideal spot to put a mortar, and maybe I should consider this, is actually right here. I mean, that's true of, like, so many of these spots. Let's see. What else can I do? And we might also want to look into the exploding orcs upgrade a little bit, because that's actually doing an insane amount of damage here. And I don't know if I've maxed that one out completely. I think I would also say I like the idea of these outer flamethrowers, but I think I want them to sweep back and forth and maybe move them a little. Because they're setting a bunch of orcs on fire, but it's kind of the same ones. This one's getting a lot of orcs that are passing through, but if I put it like here, maybe here, and just had it going. Because yeah, after they all get into the section, that's it. Well, we might also just win. Like, it looks bad. Like, that's a lot of orcs trying to squeeze through. Oh, no. Now they're getting through just a little. Yeah, because the Tesla towers can only handle so much. Okay. So what do we want to do? I mean, more Tesla towers isn't a bad move. It's actually, do we boost the Tesla coil damage? Go for that. Did I ever... Okay, so we still need to do more explosive orc chance, which actually is probably worth it. Okay, so let's grab these. Because these are somewhat wasted. That one there. Let's see. Put this one here. Oh, that's a good spot. I have two more. This one's rough. But I did give this one a lot of damage, so maybe it'll be fine without. Really good looping spot. Now the problem is this is 3 inputs. This is only 2. It's not quite there. Something like this. There we go. So we'll have to focus some defenses over here. Because the main point is these are just going to be sweeping across the guys that are bunching up. And just kind of keeping them perpetually on fire. Which also looks really cool. But yeah, I need a lot more flamethrowers to kind of cover this section. So I think maybe we just try and get some more mortars and do the same thing. Because yeah, a lot of them are not on fire by the time they hit this fire barrier. This one, they're still a little on fire. But I think it's still worth it. It's definitely taken their numbers down a lot. Actually, I think they are losing fire right about here. So that kind of worked. Oh. Huge issue. This flamethrower is actually being blocked. I need to move it over just a little bit. It's still setting everything on fire, but it could be setting them a little bit more on fire. Let's see. Yeah, so they are starting to sneak through here. This is the only area that doesn't have the secondary flame barriers. I guess this one only partially has one. Still, if we survive, because this is peak orc, like we're not going to have a higher density than this. But we're about to lose. Let's see, so I could get more mortars. I think we just boost explosive orc chances. Let's see, 3 seconds. There's really not much I can do here. Boost their damage. Strafing run, missile explosions. Shoot out things. I guess I might as well grab that. Not much, but I guess I can also shoot. Let's see. Oh, it's legitimately nothing. Like, if I'm going to be doing anything, we'll just point ourselves right there. Oh, right. This one needs to be right there. Perfect. Are you kidding me? Okay. Well, it at least is getting it some of the time. Oh, other thing to note, very few orcs actually go down that pathway. They only do so once that one section is super full up. Okay. Other thing, I'm gonna play again. I'm just gonna start making some adjustments. Because I have a bunch of, whoops, I have a bunch of micro adjustments that I can do to make this a little bit better. Let's see. You want to spread them out a little bit. Let's see. Oh no, this is the only slowing grenade section I have here. Grab this one. Just move it here. Okay, anything else? That was good. These were fine. But maybe if I put it here. We'll get a little bit more of what I want. Because yeah, I wanted to move these a little further so they could actually get the full benefit. This one's still stinky. This, like, tiny little section. I don't know entirely what I want to do with that. But that is okay. I would love to see this get adapted into, like, a full creeper world. Like, actual campaign mode with longer campaigns and base building and, like, pushing back against an endless orc tide. I like it as a base tower defense game, but I feel like this could get Creeper World, oh man, Creeper World 3 or 4 levels of, like, depth would be really cool. I just want to play Creeper World again that doesn't have a bunch of AI shit jammed into it. I was excited for IXE, and then they were just like, yes, we did AI voices and a bunch of AI art, and it's just like, well, no, this sucks. I have no interest. So I haven't actually played any Creeper World since, and that does suck, because I did like those games, but I just can't support that practice. I am noticing we're getting a lot of slowing grenades kind of mashed in the center. You know what, I'm actually going to move this over here. It does just a little bit more damage. Yeah, it's like almost holding. Almost. It's really the two left side ones that are letting things through. Which makes sense, we don't have as many guns in those locations. And so they can only do so much. We might actually survive this one. Yeah, I think we're gonna live. We had a bit of a group sneak through, but it wasn't enough to take me out. And then the only remaining holdovers is like this area, which is fine actually. Genuinely, like, this area is just too slow and too well defended to be able to get by. Let's see. If anything, the flamethrowers are actually starting to fall behind, but it makes sense. They've been maxed out for forever. And honestly are actually secretly a support tower. Good at kind of culling the little guys, but mostly useful for the armor stripping. Alright, so we get a circle. Oh, we didn't get a huge bonus for surviving that one. Okay. Do we want to get explosive orc chance? Yeah, the sooner I max that out, the better. We actually still have not maxed out my gunnery towers, which I should very much work on. Let's see. Silver orc value. I should probably grab that. So what do we want to grab next? I've got a circle. Oh, and we only have one thing to spend circles on. Cannon. Which probably is a good idea. Let's see. Do we go back? I think we do that again. Because we still have a square for getting everything. I'm sure this is going to help. Alright. Well, one way or another, I think this is a good stopping point. Yeah. So, I'm probably going to just let this run, grind for a couple of resources, max out my cannons, and just beat this level off camera. I don't think I'm going to change any of my layout. And then we will finish the last level in the next episode. Because that's probably going to take at least half an hour. I can only imagine it's going to be a tough one. I don't know, maybe I will have perfecting this level be in the next episode. I might as well. But for now, I guess thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.